Hey y'all, let's talk about Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land is definitely the least talked about among the classic Mario games. Now, it still gets positive reception because at the end of the day, it is a Mario game. It's gonna get that. But it's definitely not looked at or talked about as something that is seen as necessary to play like a Super Mario 3 or Super Mario World would be. It most often just gets reduced to like a bite-sized Mario game on the Game Boy, which I'm not gonna sit here and argue that that's not the truth, but at the same time, it definitely is more than that. Developed by Nintendo's R&D 1 team, which is notable because that wasn't the team that worked on the prior Mario games, as well as it had the godfather of portable gaming, Gunpei Yokoi, on the team. At least that's what MarioWiki.com says, and I trust them with this sort of thing. And let me dive into that Gunpei Yokoi thing a little bit more. He not only invented the Game & Watch, he was a huge part of the Game Boy's development team, and he was also famous for his philosophy of that toys and games don't require cutting-edge technology. Novel and Fuck, dude, I'm reading off the script and I can't get it right. Famous for his design philosophy that... Shit, I don't have to read that part. Toys and games don't require cutting-edge technology. Novel and fun gameplay are more important. And this philosophy essentially allowed the Game Boy to just kind of shit on the competition, for lack of a better word. The Game Gear and the Atari Lynx both had color screens and backlights that drained batteries and made these consoles just far too expensive for the average person to own. And while the Game Boy was limited, the games are still fun. And ultimately, that's what matters first and foremost. All of this basically birthed Super Mario Land as we know it, as this just black and white, outright strange Mario game. And it takes place not in the Mushroom Kingdom, but in the Sarasaland Kingdom, and none of the enemies here ever seen again. None of the locations here ever seen again. And unlike a game like Super Mario Bros. 2, which wasn't even designed to be a Mario game in the first place, and that's where some of its oddities come from, this game was made from the ground up as a Mario game. And that's the first point of interest I have with this game, is that nothing here was ever revisited. Outside of the Fire Flower replacement, the Super Ball Flower making its way into Mario Maker 2 via DLC, there really hasn't been much with this game. None of the enemies, not any of the 4 kingdoms of Sarasaland have been mentioned. They haven't made an appearance. Hell, none of it has been rendered in fucking HD yet. And it's just weird considering that Nintendo has no problem referencing these older games. They have no problem nostalgia baiting. Like for example, in Mario Galaxy 2, we had the Throwback Galaxy, which is literally just Whomp's Fortress. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, because it was fucking awesome when they did it there. In Odyssey, for example, you have all of the 2D original Super Mario Brothers sections, as well as Peach's Castle from Mario 64, literally just as is. You can jump through the paintings and do everything in there. And like, honestly, if you just made the Sand Kingdom, Sarasaland Kingdom, and threw a couple of those Mario Land enemies in there, it would have been a perfect reference. There's potential here. It could have easily been a Mario Kart track, or a Mario Party board, or a Smash Brothers Stage 2, but even in the side games, it can't get a shout out. And I mean, I kind of know why that is. All the game gives you to work with in terms of what Sarasaland even is 9 sentences of probably poorly translated English in the front of the manual. There's also a small bit of other lore you can get from reading the enemy encyclopedia in the back, and of course I'm going to read to you some of my favorite entries there. The boss of the final kingdom, the Chad Kingdom, is named Blockenton, and we, to this day, still do not know what he looks like. Because of his shyness, he hides behind a cloud the entire game he's on screen. Now, was this due to lore reasons or the Game Boy's graphical limitation? We shall never know. Also, there's this little guy named P, who is described as hopping about and persistently dogging Mario. And there's also this enemy whose name is literally just Chicken. And I still really haven't talked about the game yet, but that might be because it just has the least to say. Like, it's your standard classic Mario game. You have your 4 worlds, 3 levels, so you got 12 levels total in the game. It's just Mario. It's platforming. I don't really got much else to... Actually, wait. I do got something else to say. There are these 2 levels that are shoot-'em-up levels that are pretty... I mean, they're solid. They're standard. I think it's a cool little twist on the gameplay, but it's interesting that it was never revisited like everything else from this game. Mario has never ever had a shoot-'em-up level again, as far as I'm aware. The main interest for this game in general isn't really the game itself, it's everything surrounding the game. For example, we have our 4 worlds here, which cover all entirely different locations. You got the Biribudu Kingdom, which is based on Egypt. The Muda Kingdom is Bermuda. The Eastern Kingdom is Easter Islands, and the Chai Kingdom is based off of China. And I kind of wonder if Mario Odyssey had any inspiration from this game at all, because Odyssey similarly had a bunch of real-world locales, or at least real-world inspired levels in that game. It's your standard Mario romp. You run, you jump, you shoot balls out your fingers. What makes all of that enjoyable here, aside from the different setting and location, is just that it's really short. Like, really short. Like, you could beat the game, fuck beating the game in an afternoon, you could beat the game in a lunch break. And it's also, on top of that, very, very easy. Yeah, the game just shits out lives. Like at the end of every stage, there's a super duper easy mini game to get to, and it's super duper easy to time it and essentially walk out of each level with a handful of lives. And all of this has kind of allowed the, I don't know why I did that hand motion there, has allowed the game to become a comfort game for me. It's something I just play when I have nothing better to do for 30 to 45 minutes. It's so easy, so painless to just run through, check all the boxes, and get to the end. And it's really unlike anything I've ever played outside of like an arcade game, or maybe even a roguelike, just something that's supposed to be short to play. But even then, this game scratches an itch that those games don't. And a lot of these games still have things like overarching progression between runs, or an overarching story that just really isn't present here. And not to mention that those games are often just a lot harder and not as comfortable as this game is. Back to it being a comfort game, part of what really does that for me is the aesthetics. And while I do love the Game Boy visuals and the really small like scale of everything, I think it's all really cute. And I am a hipster, so that would totally be up my alley. It's not really just that. A lot of it comes down to the sound and music of this game. Now I'm gonna make a big claim here, but I'm really willing to say that pound for pound, song for song, track for track, Super Mario Land has some of the best music in the entire series. Like the only OSTs I would really feel comfortable putting it ahead of off the top of my head would be like Super Mario Galaxy, aka the greatest soundtrack ever made, probably like Mario World and Mario 3. And then we're really getting dicey. Maybe Sunshine if you catch me on a freaky day. Seriously though, outside of the star theme, which might be like the worst rendition of this Mario star theme ever. Like I'm gonna play it for you, it's horrible. And it's so bad that I absolutely love it. I don't know how, let me read his name. Hirokazu Tanaka managed to make each of the world themes just so fitting of the area they're in. And to do all of this on the fucking Game Boy sound chip is just incredible. Now I'm gonna spare you me breaking down every single song on this 10-minute OST, but I'm definitely gonna show you some of the highlights. Like, for example, listen to the Chai Kingdom music and tell me that's not like the most Chinese sounding shit ever. And then I also want to give a shout out to a couple other songs from this game, primarily the Underground theme, which if you were an 04 baby like me, that means you probably had a Wii, which means you might have had Smash Bros. Brawl, which means you probably played Subspace Emissary, and this song should sound a little familiar to you. But when I was playing this game and I heard that theme and I was able to connect the dots, I was like, oh, I've heard this before somewhere. And then I connected the dots that it was from Brawl, just having me with a big ass smile on my face. I also want to give a shout out to the song that plays when you find Daisy, but it's not really Daisy. I don't know why, but for me mentally, that song just kind of sits alongside like Earthbound Smile and Tears, which is a song I can't hear without tearing up, as well as the Kingdom Hearts 1 menu music, to where it's like, not even nostalgia for this game, because I never played this game as a child, but like, I don't know if it's because it's like the music box like melody to it or what, but it just takes me back and hits me in the feels in a way I'm not really smart enough to describe. But once you get to the final castle and you actually see Daisy, the song plays for a little bit and then it just, like that, just flips on its head and it goes from this like somber, melancholic, almost music box like song to just the fastest, most upbeat song in the game. And as far as I'm aware, it's the only time in the game this song will play for you. And holy shit, after 30 to 45 minutes of this game, getting there and hearing that song and seeing Mario fly on his little ship as the credits go just feels incredible, man. Yeah, it just feels great after overcoming what this game throws at you. Again, I said it was easy earlier, and it is easy for the most part. There's two levels, World 3-1 and 3-2, that if you played the game, you know, those fucking rocks that bounce are gonna test you. So getting there just feels good. Like, Again, I'm not musically intelligent enough to explain why, but there's something so rewarding about getting to that ending cutscene. And it's just absolutely beautiful to me that such a simple game, a game that was essentially made just as a test drive for the Game Boy and its possibilities, is able to, over 30 years later, still get me this invested, this emotional, and not with story, or not with like graphics or anything like that, but sheerly off of the strength of its gameplay and its aesthetics. Both of which people would consider outdated by today's standards. Also, oh! That was totally unintentional, but the fact the credits are rolling as I get to the conclusion, fire. So this is like very off topic considering where we just were at, but I can't stress to you enough how short this game is. This script is not very long. It is, let me take a look, not even 2,000 words. It took me longer to perform the script than it did for this Let's Play I stole off of YouTube to play. I have to restart it now, like just to do the conclusion. That's insane. Super Mario Land is a true piece of art stuck in the era it came from. It's too short to be remade and sold for full price, and even like if you were to go about it, you'd probably have to package in like Super Mario Land 2 and Wario Land 1 and sell it as like this trilogy remake pack. And even then, I think if you were to remake the game, a lot of what makes Super Mario Land would be lost. The Game Boy aesthetics, the sound, just the feeling of it, the length of it overall. And miraculously, however, even though it can't be remade, and I don't think it could be sold under the modern standards for what makes a game good, it holds up. It's totally enjoyable in 2024. It sits in this really strange place historically where it doesn't hold up to the standards of what makes a game sellable in 2024, but it absolutely holds up to what makes a game good in 2024. Somehow, gaming's biggest franchise and first handheld debut and first mean the same thing. Somehow gaming's biggest franchise has, why can't I say this line right? Somehow gaming's biggest franchise's handheld debut is stuck on the platform it came out on, stuck in 1989, with no signs of remake, no signs of even modern references to the game in its existence. And while I want to spin it and be like, how that's so tragic, I think that just adds to the allure of the game and the story of the game's history. You, the viewer, should play this game. It's available on Nintendo Switch Online for a whopping $3.99 a month, and if that's out of your price range, you need to like genuinely click off this video and clock in to a job. Any job will do, any of them, because that is not much. But also, if you want to get an original copy, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Editor me got it. It's not very expensive if you're into that sort of thing and you're a hipster like me. Or if you need to, there's other methods. The game's file size is 64 kilobytes. You can probably run that thing on any device. You can probably play it off a fucking vape if you wanted to. So go and play it. Take a lunch break. Take 30 minutes and just even give it a shot. I would say Switch Online is probably, I'm not going to say it's the best way to play it. I think the best way to play it is on the Game Boy itself. The rewind feature, if you use it, you're a little bit of a pussy to me. But I'm not going to lie, World 3 is tough. So, I don't know. However you want to enjoy this game, go and enjoy it. Because it's great, it's history, it's important, and it's worth your time. So one thing that's kind of been holding back me making videos over the past couple of years is I really want all my videos to like serve some sort of purpose for like the viewer to have some sort of greater takeaway than me talking about the game. But I'm just not gonna lie, it's just not, my script writing abilities are not there yet, which is what it is. We all got our limitations. At some point you just gotta make videos. I can't sit here and just criticize myself to the point where I'm not putting it out, because even if it has limitations, it can still be good and can still be enjoyable. But I think that's all I got for y'all today. So I appreciate you if you're watching, if you made it this far in the video. I love you. I'll talk to y'all later. Holy shit, wait, no way, I think I did it. First I wanted to say, First I wanted to say thank y'all for watching. I think I just said that at the end of my scripted segment, but I think I'm gonna leave y'all with a small channel update just on where things are going to be. This is the kind of video I'm going to be making from here on out. I don't know if it's going to be exactly shot like this because there are some small things I need to work on. For example, I know, man, that the lighting reflects off of the TV screen into the phone. I know. And there's a couple other things, like this is my second time shooting this video because my phone has auto white balance on. God knows why you need fucking auto white balance. You white balance it once and it's good, phone. But I don't know if the settings I changed are the right settings. So if this video's white balance is kind of like I'm going from yellow to white to yellow to white. Sorry, y'all. I'll work on it. I was trying to get a camera, but If you've been following the streams, you can see I'm unemployed, and spending like a couple $100 on a good camera is just not something I'm like racing to do. So if y'all want better camera, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell. I don't even know if that matters anymore, but yeah. And I think that's all I got to say. I want to be doing videos like this, at least for the meantime, hopefully like once a month, once every handful of weeks. I don't have like, kind of depends on the scale of the video. I have some videos that are significantly longer scripts than this one, so I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything consistent, because if you've been watching the channel forever, you know consistency is not quite my thing. But streaming is something I'm doing at least twice a week for now. I'd love to get it 3 times. Just want to get a schedule going for that. So if you like this video, go check out the stream. I might be streaming actually right after I put this video out. Editor me will let you know about that, but there might be a link in the description right now, because I might be live right now. So that's all I got. Again, like, subscribe, ring bell, comment, boost engagement on anything, because if y'all make this shit work out and I don't have to get a job soon, we like that. But if you made this far, seriously, I love you. Thank you for watching all the way through, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.